In this video, we will discuss asthma. First, we will introduce what is asthma. Asthma is the chronic inflammatory disorder of the airways that causes episodes of wheezing, breathlessness, cough, chest tightness, usually in night and or in the morning. What are hallmarks of asthma? These are bronchial hyperreactivity, hypertrophy of smooth muscles of bronchi, hypertrophy of mucus glands, increased mucus production, inflammation with eosinophils, and reversible bronchial obstruction. These are the hallmarks of asthma. Now we will come to the pathogenesis. The asthma is the result of 1. Genetic predisposition to type 1 hypersensitivity reaction. Second is acute and chronic inflammation of the bronchi. And third is hyper responsiveness of the bronchi to certain inflammatory agents. So now we will discuss the pathogenesis, but here we will discuss only the pathogenesis of classic asthma or atopic asthma. Here you can see when a pollen comes in the respiratory tract, it is engulfed by this dendritic cell or antigen presenting cell. This dendritic cell then exposes the antigen to the T helper cells. T helper cells produce interleukin 4 that activate B cells to release or produce IgE antibodies. Furthermore, it produces interleukin 4 that activates the eosinophils, and it also produces the interleukin 13 that stimulates these goblet cells to produce more and more mucus. Mast cells are when activated by this IgE, and eosinophils are when activated. Then several inflammatory mediators are produced and two types of response are produced. First one is early phase reaction and second one is late phase reaction. In the early phase reaction, that is due to the production of histamine and leukotrienes. It is bronchoconstriction, mucus secretion, that is increased mucus secretion, vasodilation, increased vascular permeability, and edema. This is the early phase reaction. Late phase reaction consists of chemotaxis of the T helper 2 cells due to the release of eotaxin from the epithelial cells. Chemotaxis of T helper 2 cells, neutrophils, eosinophils, and other inflammatory cells occurs, and furthermore activation of the eosinophils occurs, leading to further inflammatory reactions. Now, what are the types of asthma? Asthma is maybe atopic, I have discussed here, non-atopic when there is no history of genetic predisposition to type 1 hypersensitivity reaction, but non-atopic is due to chronic exposure to the irritants or chemicals, for example cigarette smoke, etc. Then there may be drug induced, for example aspirin induced, or then there may be profession related, for example a person works in the factory of furniture, etc., furniture making, etc. Then we come to the morphology. In the morphology, there is entrapment of air inside the lungs and it leads to overinflation of the lungs. Second one is mucosal plugging with the Kirschmann spirals. What are these Kirschmann spirals? These are the epithelial walls that shed into the mucus that plugs the bronchi and bronchioles. Then there are eosinophils and Charcot-Leyden crystals. There are eosinophils and Charcot-Leyden crystals. What are these Charcot-Leyden crystals? These are the crystallites made up of the eosinophil produced protein galectin 10. Then there is hypertrophy of smooth muscles and mucous glands. Then there is thickening of the airway walls, fibrosis, and increase in the vascularity. What are the clinical features? The clinical features of asthma are dyspnea, wheezing, hyperinflation of the lungs, and these three conditions, hypercapnia, hypoxemia, and acidosis, are seen but mainly in the case of status asthmaticus. What is status asthmaticus? Status asthmaticus is actually a severe paroxysm occurs that does not respond to therapy and persists for days and even weeks. This is all about the asthma and its pathogenesis, types, morphology, and clinical features. Thank you for watching.